In the dense forest of Kogi State, the sound of rotor blades cutting through the morning air signaled the beginning of what would become one of Nigeria's most decisive counter-terrorism operations in recent months. A joint operation involving the police and the military killed scores of bandits and dismantled their networks during a fresh security operation in Kogi State. The coordinated assault, which unfolded with military precision, represents a critical turning point in Nigeria's ongoing battle against terrorism and banditry that has plagued the region for years. The operation, carried out with vigor, commitment, and utmost professionalism, and supported by the Nigeria Police Force Air Wing through precision airstrikes, led to these successes. While specific details about the helicopter armament remain operational secrets, the presence of armed police helicopters providing close air support transformed what could have been a dangerous ground operation into a devastating blow against terrorist networks that had long used Kogi's terrain as their sanctuary. The timing of this operation couldn't be more significant. Nigeria has been grappling with an escalation of terrorist activities across multiple states, with Kogi State emerging as a critical battleground. Like many states in Nigeria's northern region, Kogi has witnessed a deterioration in security, marked by frequent attacks by armed groups targeting security personnel, worship centers, and rural communities. In several incidents across the region, hundreds of people have been killed or abducted, while many others have sustained injuries. What makes this particular operation remarkable is the seamless coordination between the Nigeria Police Force and the military. This level of interagency cooperation has been rare in Nigeria's security operations, where rivalry and lack of coordination have often hampered effectiveness. The forests of Kogi had become a haven for these terrorist groups, providing natural cover and strategic advantages that made conventional ground operations extremely hazardous. If you are finding this analysis valuable, don't forget to hit that like button. It really helps us bring you more in-depth coverage of these critical security developments. The assailant networks were dislodged across forests in the state. Bandits were flushed out, their networks dislodged, and scores were neutralized. The aftermath reveals a sobering picture of the threat Nigeria continues to face. The police public relations officer urged residents to remain vigilant and immediately report anyone observed with gunshot wounds, unexplained injuries, or suspicious behavior to the nearest police station. This warning suggests that while the operation was successful, some terrorists may have escaped the dragnet, potentially wounded and desperate. The broader context becomes even more apparent when we consider recent developments. Just hours after the initial success in the forests, tensions escalated further. There was an exchange of gunfire between Nigerian troops and suspected terrorists in Obajana town, Kogi State, on Saturday night, as security forces sustained ongoing clearance operations in the area. This follow-up engagement near Obajana, home to Africa's largest cement plant, demonstrates that the terrorist groups are not going down without a fight. The significance of these operations extends beyond Kogi State. Since President Bola Tinubu came to power in May 2023, Nigerian authorities say more than 13,000 fighters and bandits have been killed and some 17,000 have been captured and are awaiting trial. In 2025, President Tinubu approved the creation of a national armed force to protect the country's forests from criminal gangs carrying out attacks, extortion, kidnapping, and illegal logging. These statistics paint a picture of an intensifying security campaign, but they also highlight the scale of the challenge Nigeria faces. The creation of a specialized forest protection force acknowledges that traditional security approaches have been insufficient in dealing with groups that use Nigeria's vast forest reserves as operational bases. Make sure to subscribe to our channel if you want to stay updated on how this situation develops. We'll be bringing you exclusive analysis as more details emerge from the ground. The use of air support in these operations represents a significant tactical evolution in Nigeria's counter-terrorism strategy. The involvement of police helicopters providing close air support marks a departure from previous operations where such assets were primarily the domain of the military. CSP William Aya called on the public to provide credible intelligence on criminal activities, emphasizing that security remains a collective responsibility. This call for public cooperation reflects a growing understanding within Nigeria's security establishment that defeating terrorism requires more than military might. It requires communities to become active partners in identifying and reporting suspicious activities. The Kogi operation also comes at a time when Nigeria is modernizing its security capabilities. The country is acquiring advanced military hardware, including new attack helicopters from the United States, which will significantly enhance its ability to conduct similar operations in the future. However, challenges remain formidable. Suspected bandits have intensified criminal activities in several parts of Kogi State in recent months. Between October and December, 2 churches were attacked, prompting the Obaro of Kaba, Oba Solomon Owoniyi, in collaboration with the Christian Association of Nigeria in Kaba, to place a ban on all religious activities until further notice. The attacks on religious institutions highlight the terrorist strategy of targeting symbols of community cohesion and faith. The success in Kogi, while significant, is just one battle in a longer war. The terrorists' ability to regroup and launch counterattacks, as evidenced by the Obajana incident, shows their resilience and determination. It also underscores the need for sustained operations rather than one-off victories. Looking ahead, the Kogi operation provides valuable lessons for future counter-terrorism efforts. The effective use of air support, successful inter-agency coordination, and emphasis on community engagement all point to a more sophisticated approach to security challenges. Yet, ultimate success will depend on addressing the root causes that allow these groups to recruit and operate: poverty, unemployment, and governance failures in remote areas. As Nigeria continues its fight against terrorism, operations like the one in Kogi State demonstrate both the country's growing capabilities and the enormous challenges that remain. The elimination of terrorist camps and neutralization of scores of fighters is undoubtedly a victory, but it's a victory that must be consolidated through continued vigilance, sustained operations, and winning the hearts and minds of vulnerable communities.